The year was 2012. My family were going abroad without me for the very first time. I found 2 weeks without them far more relaxing than 2 weeks trapped with them, and also it's like 30 degrees outside. Also, I really want that Punky Penguin ice cream, mother. Why can't I have it? I don't care about tiramisu flavoured organic gelato. I want that plastic penguin. As my family got into the taxi at 4 AM and left for the airport, I was filled with emotion. The emotion was anxiety. I was in charge of a house. I was in charge of a dog. My god, I was in charge of me. Sleep was no longer an option. The entire burglar population of England had already smelt my fear and was lining up with crowbars and big sacks outside. As the panic set in, I did what any pudgy, unathletic teenager does. No, not that. I booted up Steam and decided to escape the terrible situation I had entirely brought upon myself. As the store page loaded, a brand new game caught my eye, only just released and on sale to boot. FTL. After dropping the princely sum of £3.74 on it, I installed and blasted off into the cosmos. My anxiety about that axe murderer, who was probably shitting in the kitchen sink at that very moment, was already fading. Naming my maiden ship, the Esperanto, and admiring my crew, we launched into the black, ready to flee the rebel fleet with the vital data. I was immediately taken in by the game, ordering my crew from room to room, repairing systems mid-firefight, and accidentally suffocating Bonfim M by opening an airlock on him while he tried to fix a broken floor panel. I felt like Jean-Luc Picard if he took a blow to the head from one of the sliding doors and started drinking paint thinner. Then, the moment that solidified FTL as one of my desert island games forever. I'm weird. There are some things that games can do that just hit me right in the dopamine wobblies. Non-humanoid characters. Always a favourite of mine in a MOBA. Add or remove some limbs, throw on an exoskeleton, and make me wonder where your butthole is, and I'm sold. Letting you play as an enemy unit. I don't want to be a bad guy, I want to save the world, but let me do it as a goblin rather than a heroic knight. Swashbuckling. Jumping from my vessel onto an enemy's and then returning to safety at the last moment. Okay, that one's a little specific, but Sea of Thieves, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Space Battles, and that one game mode in Halo 3 where everyone had to stay on their team's elephant, that itch was scratched. What point was I making again? Oh yes, FTL. So I unlocked a crew teleporter and used it to jump onto an enemy slug ship, destroying their life support and jumping my crew back to our ship, leaving them to slowly choke. I'm Space Errol Flynn. Check. Then a message pops up about a survivor of the ship, asking to join my crew. I accept. Change of heart by the baddies, letting them join my cause? Double check. Then I see him. A mantis man, with long talons, 4 legs, and compound eyes. My very own alien to have and to hold, and to unleash into the cargo holds of unsuspecting rebels? Triple goddamn check. I was overjoyed. It was like someone had reached into my brain and pulled this pixel art dreamwork out of my skull. The game hadn't bullshitted me or hand-waved away any new crew members being only human. It hadn't locked the possibility of a real dynamically changing ship by refusing to allow the blackouted pirates to talk to HR. It couldn't get any better than this. From that point on I was hooked. Any time I was stationary for more than 10 minutes, out came the laptop. I racked up hundreds of hours quickly, and was very willing to trade sleep for another chance at unlocking the Crystal Cruiser. But eventually, like all things, it slowly faded to a glowing ember of passion. I always had it installed, but other games and occasionally real life just required more attention. So why the overly long love letter of our first meeting I've just thrust upon the internet? Achievements. In the last few years, I've been really enjoying achievement hunting. It appeals to my OCD to take items off a list, and I enjoy how, in games with lots of options, it can introduce you to new builds and methods you maybe wouldn't have considered otherwise. So, in January 2020, some genius/total bastard decided to add Steam achievements to FTL. I didn't notice, at least not until last month when I experienced the familiar craving for some spacefaring RNG. I booted up the game and suddenly 40 plus notifications exploded onto my screen. Not the explosions I would have expected from FTL, but hardly something to complain about. Once my vision cleared and I could inspect the new medals I had to pin to my chest like a bunch of bottle caps, I noticed something. Having taken all my previous expeditions into account, I only had 8 achievements remaining before I could gain the biggest and shiniest bottle cap of them all. So that leads us here, to the end of Grandpa's confusing rant.
Which was the style at the time?
We're in lockdown and I need something to do. I've always wanted to learn a bit more about video creation, so here's my idea. 8 videos for 8 achievements, just to see if I can. It's no monster challenge, and it's on an 8-year-old game. Hey look, a whole bunch of 8s, that's almost like a theme. But it's a game that even one more person should play, If that's something I can help with, then I think that subset games have given me more than enough entertainment over the years that I should try and shill for them while there's still a world to shill to. The first achievement to tackle is the guns. They've stopped. I'll go more into what that means as well as my plan to tackle it in the next video. See you then.